Welcome back, everybody, to another live stream repair. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 to get fixed up here today. So we're gonna jump right on into it. Starting a few minutes early today, but maybe we'll finish a few minutes early. Okay. First one up is from Thomas with no power. So let's get that opened up and then we're going to check our symptoms. Got a little note here. We'll go ahead and read that and make sure we're all on the same page. No response. All right. We'll start things off with a known good power cable. Going to plug that in. And we see no response at the top there, but we've got 4 to 6 watts of power draw from the wall. So that's usually what we see with this no power failure, especially when the diode on the amplifier fails. That's usually what happens. So let's get this apart, see what's going on. I'm gonna connect myself to ground here because I feel myself getting zapped by my chair every 2 seconds now. Oh no, where's my wrist strap? I've got a spare. And then we gotta clip ourselves in here. Yeah. There you go. All right, no more zippy zaps. Here we go. Woofer check. Let's see how it looks. Always good to check it. Looks good, feels good, smells good. We are in. Let's get up close. Our diode there has a date code of 1748K. So we're gonna double check that there. Yes, indeed, that is dead. So let's get it replaced. Ah, damn, I forgot to let the Discord know I'm streaming. Let me go ahead and let them know. Am I still sending this Discord on here? No! I'll have to send it to my Telegram and then do it on my phone. Do I have my phone? Shoot. Okay. Let's pop a new diode on. Hey, welcome to the stream, Eric. Glad you could make it. Glad you're enjoying it. NDB, welcome to the stream. I'm not an expert. I found that HomePods and software. Thought the information. Unfortunately, it doesn't really get us anywhere as far as debricking them. Yes, they are based to a degree on Apple TV's OS. It's a fork of it, but it doesn't unfortunately really get us any farther for trying to fix the firmware on them. If it did, I'm honestly not the smartest guy either to figure it out. So you and me are pretty much in the same boat. It would be funny if we could, like, just straight up restore a HomePod with, like, Apple TV firmware. That would be pretty funny. I think I've tried it just for kicks. It didn't work, but obviously it didn't work. If it did, I would have told you guys, but we got a brand new diode on there, far outside of that range of diodes that normally fails, so kiss this problem goodbye. We're just letting it cool off for a sec before we see if it powers on. And I'm just going to completely mess up my camera there. There we go. Let's see if it works. Hey, we got power. Let me get my multimeter turned on here. I think it needs a new battery. Yeah. All right, sounds great. And of course that one takes AAA's, so we can't take the batteries from that one. That one takes AAA's, can't use that. Hey, 9-volt battery. Let me in. Extra heavy duty, okay, yeah. Now, we're cooking with Crisco. Baba booey! We got let's stick that meter back down there. Where is our PC Link software? There we go. And then let's get our multimeter up there. All right, so that is our DC offset reading. We're looking at 0.1, or we're looking at 1 to 2 millivolts. Oh, are we? There we go. Yeah. We're looking at 4.5 millivolts of offset, which is a perfectly acceptable reading there. Everything on this board checks out, so we can put this thing back together. To use the diagnostic port, you can solder a USB cable onto the bottom of it, but check my website for more details on that under the common issues section. Anything less than 50 millivolts. It's a pretty arbitrary value that we picked just based on what we saw when searching Google for DC offset. Most of the audio nerds say that for most amplifiers, 50 millivolts is generally the maximum tolerable amount. So anything less than that is good. But also not just how much it's sitting at, but if it's growing or not. Like, it could be under 50 millivolts and then 10 seconds later it could be growing quickly outside of that 50 millivolts. That's a problem. Yeah, like, I don't know of anybody selling any adapters, but what you can do, and I've got info on my website, you can just straight up solder a USB cable to the debug pins on the bottom. It's not pretty, but it's not going to affect the sound at all. You just have to rip the rubber foot off the bottom, which again won't affect the sound. Nothing goes through there, and you can connect that shit up to your PC. And then cry, because Apple won't let you do anything with it. nice and sealed. All right, I'm gonna need to drink for this next part. Okay. Wow. All right. Too easy. Yoink. Let's see what we've got. We've got power. I'm trying to open up Robert's box here, and I'm confused how they did this, because like what the heck? Oh, okay, I see what he did. There we go. Okay, let's just check and see if this one's good.
I'm having trouble connecting to
Very good.
I'm having trouble.
All right. Thomas is all good to go. So we'll put that to the side. And up next is Robert. And Robert has 2 HomePods with no base. So, looks like they sent it in the new HomePod box. Let's get the text on the screen updated. And he also sent 2 of them. So here's one of 2. And let's plug it in and check our symptoms here. Yeah, that sounds like a tin can, all right. Let's get it apart and see what's going on there. What do you fellas think? Do we have a blown subwoofer because of the filters going bad and pumping it up with a DC voltage and cooking that poor little speaker? Or do we have a mystery no bass issue with the amp? There's always more HomePods. Oh yeah, dude. For a while, I wasn't sold on the whole Stream Deck idea. I thought it was always kind of a gimmick, like just use keyboard macros, bro. But the convenience alone of having what you want pictured and customizable on each button here, and the dynamic displays on each of them, you know, they change pictures based on whether they're activated or not. It really helps with our stream here, instead of sitting here fighting with the mouse and finding where it is on the screen. And yeah, totally worth it if you're trying to take your streaming seriously. Made progress on the extraction of firmware, but things are becoming revealed as a bit unstable. Interesting. An identical HomePod will accept the firmware of the other. What do you mean unstable? I'm intrigued. So are you saying you were able to restore like a broken one? Or excuse me. So you've actually got a firmware file now? I've got many questions. Just like this HomePod. The subwoofer checks all out, so the fault does not lie there. Found a method of jumping the chip's contents by skipping a few cycles in the CPU by withholding power for a very small amount of time while placing the amp under load. Holy shit, that is so above my head. I understand what you're saying, but Ah, fiddly-dee. Another broken power supply screw. Oof. Well, let's get the amp out and see if we can at least figure out what's causing the lack of bass, and then we'll tackle the broken screw there. Okay. We're going to check the visual inspection, see if there's anything obviously wrong, which there usually isn't. Yeah. So, there's not much that we can check for no bass if there's no obvious visual damage. There is one capacitor that we know of that does like to fail and cause no bass. And that is this little guy right here. So if this is dead, then that's a pretty easy fix. We can replace this and probably get their bass back. If this isn't dead, then we've probably got something else going on here with the amp, and we'll need to, more likely than not, pull another amp from another pod for parts to do a swap, because it just takes so much time to figure out what could be causing no bass on an amp if it's nothing obvious, that it's just a more effective use of my time and the client's time to put in another amplifier. And then whenever I do have the time to come back to this, I can get it working again and use it for the next person. So let's see if our common culprit is present. I'm not feeling optimistic. Oh, okay. Yeah. Nope, that's definitely shorted out. So, let's get it pulled off. See if we put another cap on there, if it starts giving us bass again. You'll be in Montana and Washington sometime this year? Oh, dude, if anything, I would absolutely love to meet up with you and just throw back a beer or two, or water or tea or whatever it is that you like to drink. But that would be awesome. I could show you the Nick's Fix Dungeon if you want to check it out too. See the setup. So, is this cap the source of the short? I sure hope so. Well, we don't have a short on the board anymore, so let's go ahead and I think I've already pulled a few of these caps off. My probes are being picky. one's dead. This one seems all right. Let's give that one a go. Oh yeah, add me to that schedule. Yep. Short be gone. Ah, very hot. Very, very hot. Okay, while we're hot, I want to go ahead and replace the Schottky barrier diode. It's not going to have anything to do with the base issues, but it does fail often enough that we replace it every time. Even if it's not part of the bad batch of diodes, we're going to replace them for every single HomePod, just out of precaution. And for those curious, this one actually has a really old date code of 1711K. So quite the early diode in terms of the ones that we see typically used in these HomePods, which is just a testament to the fact that it seems to not be the age or the part of this or this specific part that is the problem, but rather a bad batch of them. So let's get it replaced. Okay, same drill. We're gonna let this board cool down for a second, then we'll see if we've got our base back. Fingers crossed, folks. What do we got? Oh yeah, we got our base back. And we've only got 12 millivolts with it. Excellent. Let's get this put back together. Oh, that's right. We got to fix that broken screw in here really quick. To do that, it's going to be a fun one. We're going to need to rip the old stud out and then put a new stud in its place. Easy peasy. Look at that. And then we will grab a stud from another parts board. Smash that back in there, and then we'll lock it in place with a little bit of solder for good measure. Okay. It's not pretty, but it's free and functional. We are ready to pop this thing back together. I ship most of the repairs back with UPS. Sometimes it's like a PO box and I have to use USPS. Hello and happy Friday. Friday feeling. Waluigi. That is correct. Money talks. Money moves. Money does things. Love it or hate it, the world runs on it. Hey, welcome to the chat. Looks like you're getting a head start on the weekend. We've dropped 0 packets since the beginning of our stream, so it's going to be an excellent start to our weekend. All right, let's see if Robert's first HomePod works with bass. And then we're going to move on to actually, since Robert has 2 of them, we're going to move on to Aaron's next. Beautiful. Perfect. So, let's put that away and grab Aaron's here, which has, oh, actually, my apologies. Adam is next. Didn't mean to get you all excited there, Aaron. So it looks like we've got another no power here. Okay. Let's get their name up on the screen. And let's jump into checking our symptoms. So we've got a known good power cable as always. We see nothing happening when we spam the top, and we've got 4 to 6 watts of power draw. So that all points to the usual no power failure, which is caused by the diode on the amplifier going bad. It's not the diode's fault. Diodes Incorporated simply seems to have made a bad batch of them. 1748K. Yep, dead diode. Thank you, thank you. What do we got? We got power. Excellent. So we've got no power issues, we've got no sound issues, and our offset is looking pretty at 2 millivolts. So let's get this put back together. Classic cooling technique. Yeah, you bet. I just gotta remember to alternate between my left arm and right arm when I'm doing it, otherwise I might get some funny looks in public with a slightly larger right arm. Yeah, Best Buy sending me a spare was honestly probably, if that hadn't happened, I probably wouldn't have gotten this far. I never would have, I never thought originally that stereo pair was as good as it was, but when I got that second one for free and tried it out, I was absolutely hooked, and I was like, I have to get more of these. That was an excellent Christmas/birthday present from Best Buy. So thank you guys. I was hoping they would somehow end up doing the same thing with the new HomePod that I bought for the teardown a few weeks ago, but they did their job correctly this time. But that's okay. One free HomePod, I'll take it. Both of those original HomePods are still going strong too. Those are also the only two HomePods I think I've ever actually bought for myself, like in known working condition. Every other HomePod I think I've bought up to this point has been either unknown condition or known broken. And I fixed it back up myself. Yeah, the boys over at The Verge did a wonderful job editing that together and not making me sound as much of a nervous wreck as I really was. Well, fear not, Adam. We will restore that original sound for you. That's what we're here for. Give me that bass. Ah, yes. eBay. One of my favorite places. I may or may not have searched for broken HomePods on there this morning and noticed somebody had listed a broken HomePod for like $30 and like $20 shipping, and I immediately bought it because I'm short on a few parts. So sorry if any of you were looking at that. Gotta be fast. You guys should keep an eye out on your local classifieds too, like OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. Apparently people are popping up first gens for as little as like $100. Perfectly working. Which, I mean, let's be frank, if you can, like the cheapest broken HomePods that you can get on eBay are anywhere from $50 to $150, and then it's $60 for the repairs for me, plus $20 to $40 for shipping back and forth. Do the math. Just make sure you thoroughly test used ones before you hand over the cash, if you don't have any sort of buyer protection. And here's the last repair for the day.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Yeah, aren't we all? Okay. Checks out. This one is our final repair for today, at least. We've got Robert's second HomePod, but we're going to take care of that tomorrow. This last one here is from Aaron, and I believe they've also got no power. Did I ever get the fiber installed? I did. We've been rocking it for the past few weeks. It's been doing pretty darn good. Haven't had any major issues yet. No response and 4 to 6 watts of power draw from the wall. So another pretty typical no power repair it seems, but let's get it apart. I also replaced my Ubiquiti U6 Pro Wi-Fi access points. I had 2 of them in my house, and I replaced them with a single Grandstream. I think it's like a 7664, like a GA 7664, something like that. Absolutely smokes my Ubiquiti access points. And the single Grandstream can handle a significant more number of clients than both of my Ubiquiti APs were able to handle combined. The Wi-Fi speeds are tremendous too. Finally, I've got decent Wi-Fi. And, oh yeah, I get symmetrical up-down. It's 950. And like everything just, it reminds me of when I first upgraded to an SSD in my laptop. Oh yeah, if anybody is interested in perfectly working Ubiquiti U6 Pro access points, I'm trying to get rid of my the 2 that I was previously using. I'm getting rid of them for what was I selling them for? 120 a piece, or 240 for both of them. And if you're interested, I'll cover shipping if you don't happen to be local. But I need to make like a storefront for my website so I can sell stuff. Because I've got a few broken HomePods that I do plan on fixing to resell. But I don't want to sell on eBay because eBay takes a massive cut and it ends up not making it worth my time. I hate Craigslist. I don't even have a Facebook account. I don't like dealing with people on Craigslist. And then OfferUp, same thing. If I want to ship, they take a cut. So I'm just going to make my own website to sell stuff. Grandstream does a lot of like corporate VoIP, like voice over IP phones. They do IP cameras, just general networking equipment too. But I was also surprised to learn that Grandstream had Wi-Fi access points. I'm familiar with the name. At my day job, we've worked with a few of their IP cameras. Surprised to learn that they had access points though. And not just that, but it absolutely kicks ass. Hello, Sophie. Welcome to the stream. You guys getting pumped to find out who wins this custom HomePod on Sunday? I'm really curious to see what color the person ends up picking because I really want to try out a color that we haven't done before. Got a couple of people asking for pink. I'm really hoping that that's the one that we end up doing. Pink or yellow would be cool ones to see. A lot of people also asking for like a space gray, which I think will turn out fantastic, but we'll see. Subwoofer checks out. Is there a way to turn off the auto-tuning of the HomePod 2nd Gen? I've heard it reduces the bass when it's placed near walls. I don't believe there's a way to turn off the real-time audio tuning for either first or second, for any HomePod for that matter, actually. You kind of have to live with it. Now, you could take apart your HomePod and disconnect the microphones, and that would be fine because at least all of the microphones around the shell. If you unplug the shell microphones, those are the ones for the tweeters, and it should be also the ones that listen to the bass response outside. There are microphones internal that are listening for the bass to make sure that it isn't working too hard or distorting. And that one's embedded on the board. You can't disconnect it without breaking it off. So you could crack it open and disconnect the mics for the that listen to the outside world, and that should stop the tuning. I don't know if it's going to have a negative impact, or if it's just going to start swinging one way or the other on the tuning spectrum over and over again since it can't get any readings. I'm still rocking Airport Extreme setups, not Speed Demons. Oh yeah, I still hear people say nothing but praises about their airports, and that's the thing. Like, they're not the fastest, but if you don't have a shit ton of clients and you're not trying to, stream thing, like most streaming isn't going to use more than a couple hundred megabytes a second at most, and most any modern access point is going to be able to do that. Well, our diode has a date code of 1748K, so I think we all know what's going to happen here. It's dead. So let's get it replaced. Yeah, I know it sounds kind of like bullshit, but go to Apple's feedback website and submit feedback asking for them to give you that option. The more people that ask for this stuff, the more likely it is that they're going to put it in. So it may not feel very significant that you as an individual are going there and submitting that feedback, but it is. It does make a difference, especially if enough people do it. I'm not aware of any real advantages of using the airports. They do give you some nice basic native integration with your Apple stuff, so you're able to configure them through various apps without going to a web UI and dick with it. Beyond that, there's nothing too special with them. They're just pretty standard wireless access points or Wi-Fi routers. The exception to that are the Airport Express V2s, and these connect as AirPlay 2 speakers with their 3.5mm or optical audio output on the back. So you can use those and plug it into like your home theater subwoofer and use that along with your HomePods and other AirPlay speakers. That's how I've got mine set up. I've got a couple of Apple Hi-Fis around the house on AirPorts for AirPlay 2, and I've got a subwoofer, and then I've also got my home audio, or my home theater amp just has AirPlay built in, but sometimes it doesn't like to stay very synced up well, so I just go for the sub. Got that new diode on there, so let's cool this off real quick and see if it works. Okay, what's it got? Hey, we've got power. Oh, we've got a mystery board here too. A Mr. or Miss Andrea sent in an amp and power supply, and I don't know what's wrong with it, but there seems to be some heat damage near the logic connector. So if this is yours, please shoot me an email so we can get reconnected, because I'm not able to find our previous correspondence by searching for your name. So hit me up and we'll get your board taken care of here. Anyways, sounds like we have no base on here, so I'm going to clean off these connectors really quick. That's usually what happens with these. Oh, I may have damaged my logic board cable here. I might need to grab another one. Let's see. I'll just give it one more try. There we go. It's always a dirty cable. So we've got no power issues, no sound issues, and no DC offset issues. We're looking pretty. Let's get this put back together. So many screws. I'm kind of sad to see in the new second-gen HomePod that they went away with the screw-style terminals that feed the tweeters their audio. And instead now they went with the classic cable that comes out of the speaker and plugs into the amp for each tweeter, which I can't imagine. Like, did that really help the cost? I guess, like, it may have made for a simpler circuit board design. Okay, so that is a great question, Seth. How do I answer that? For the no power issue, at least the most common one that happens when this diode fails, the reason why the diode fails isn't because they used the wrong part for the job. It's simply a bad batch of those diodes. Not all of them fail. Only ones with certain date codes are failing. So, given that, all the second-gen HomePod needs to do to prevent that same issue from occurring again is to just use newer diodes, which they did. We were able to confirm that they were using a newer and a larger diode in the new HomePod. So that should not be any concern. As for a lot of the base issues, it's hard to say without schematics, without knowing what kind of filters they're using, without knowing where they're at yet. But based on the design that we saw that the base chip was significantly more powerful, which means that they're likely running it at obviously a much lower power, which is going to make it run cooler and more efficient, in addition to the heatsink that's glued to the top of it. So, the second-gen HomePod does seem to take care of a lot of the original failures, either just by simply using new parts or improving the design. But at the same time, the most frustrating issue still hasn't been fixed, and that's when they brick themselves and give you blinking volume buttons or boot loops or other software issues. And it's the same exact story with the Gen 1 as it is now with the Gen 2. There's a debug port on the bottom of the HomePod, and you can connect a cable to it that plugs into your computer with USB. And they still don't give us a way to restore. They don't give us the firmware file to restore the software. There is a way to restore it. You just simply plug it in and click the restore button in iTunes or Finder, like any other Apple device. But without the firmware files, we are hosed, left dead in the water. Only time will tell if the second gen is reliable or not, though. From a glance, from what we could tell, it does look like they made improvements that will make it more reliable. But it's still really frustrating to see that they put that port on the bottom, and it's got USB, and we still can't restore that software. Yeah, it's certainly a love-hate relationship with Apple. I love their products and a lot of the experience I get out of them, but I absolutely hate a lot of their practice. Okay, you little joker, stay there. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna cut you off. I'm just gonna glue this thing back together. Can you tell I'm getting hungry? Oh, you get in there. No. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. No, 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 no. Nope. Yes. There we go. Easy peasy. How's the kiddo? The kiddo is doing magnificent. She's become quite the grumpy child, but that is to be expected once they hit 2 months old. Eats an insane amount of food, too. Didn't think a little baby could eat so much. Maybe hang an alligator clip off this string. That's not a bad idea. We'll have to play with that and see if it makes things any faster and easier. Hey Nick, Robert here. Loved the first pod. Hey, welcome to the stream. Glad you could catch us fixing your first one. We're going to go ahead and take it easy today and fix your second one tomorrow, if that's no big deal to you. But first one fixed up, no problems. Just a little short on the amplifier, and we got our bass back. So, good subwoofer over there, at least for the first one. We'll see what's going on in the second one when we get it apart. Okay, final repair for the day. Are we off the hook? Let's find out. We've got power. I'm going to try to center this so that way when I end the stream, the loading icon is perfectly centered on the pod. There we go. And
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
aren't we all?
I'm having trouble.
All right. Everything checks out, and we got everything that we planned on fixed up today without a problem. If you have any questions about today's repairs or HomePods in general, feel free to leave a comment down below. If you're looking for more info on doing your own repairs or sending it in to be repaired here on the channel, check out the website nixfix.com, where I've got a dedicated section for the common issues and how you can fix it yourself with what parts, and my contact info so you can reach out to me and get the process started. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will catch you guys